Sudan is facing one of the worst crises. Millions displaced, ongoing famine, and cities turned to ash. You might have seen viral satellite images, talks of genocides, and claims of foreign governments funding militants in Sudan. Today, we cut through the noise and propaganda to explain what's really happening in Sudan. Who is fighting, why it began, who is backing whom, how gold is fueling the war, and why radical Islamic politics is a dead end for Sudan's future. SAF versus RSF. First, let's take a look at the events that led to the beginning of this war. Omar al-Bashir was an army officer in Sudan before he led a military coup in 1989 and overthrew the democratically elected Prime Minister Sadiq al-Mahdi. He then declared himself the President of Sudan in the year 1993 and had been the head of the state ever since. He was less of a president and more of a dictator and a tyrant, and I'll tell you why. Darfur region is home to the Fur community, the largest non-Arab ethnic group in Sudan. The word Darfur itself means the home of the Fur in Arabic. The Janjaweeds were Arab militias in Darfur under the president Omar al-Bashir. In the 2000s, these Janjaweeds committed mass violence against non-Arab communities like Furs and the Masalits. In 2013, these Janjaweed militant groups were all brought together and combined to form the Rapid Support Forces or RSF, commanded by Muhammad Hamdan Dagalo Musa, also known as Hemedti. Over time, RSF evolved from an enforcement militia into a parallel army and a business empire under Hemedti. Hemedti made a lot of money by smuggling gold across the borders. RSF fighters were also deployed in Yemen alongside Saudi Arabian forces and in Libya, teaming up with Khalifa Haftar in his fight against Gaddafi. As a result, the RSF developed overseas contacts and earned international visibility. The Sudanese Armed Forces or SAF is Sudan's national army led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. Many Sudanese see it as their state's backbone, but critics warn that parts of the army's political ecosystem includes hard-lined extreme Islamist networks. Also, they oppose democracy and at times their radical Islamic ideologies have influenced their policymaking and alliances. In 2019, both these generals joined forces to take down the government of President Omar al-Bashir. For about 2 years after this, there was a civilian military transitional government in Sudan. This transitional government had a council with 5 civilian, 5 military, and 1 agreed member in it. But in October of 2021, the 2 generals once again staged a military coup against this transitional government also. Burhan and Hemedti jointly ran the government for 2 more years after this, Burhan being the head of the state and Hemedti being the deputy. Hemedti was not happy with his RSF getting integrated into the SAF army. This dispute exploded into a nationwide war in April 2023 as a power struggle between 2 men who once stood together. Foreign backing, who is helping whom? Wars rarely stay local. There are evidences of both these parties getting outside support.
United Arab Emirates وأبو ظبي تاريخ الصنع شهر 1/20.
Many reports, including UN Security Experts Panel, states that UAE, the United Arab Emirates, has secretly supplied weapons to the RSF. Though UAE has denied these allegations and stated that they are a neutral party, US and European Union sanctions on RSF leaders and a few UAE-based companies suggests that there may be money and logistics linking them. Egypt and Iran seem to back the state army SAF. There are even reports of Iranian drones aiding SAF operations in Sudan. The Wagner group of Russia previously worked with RSF in exchange for gold. Russia now seems to be working with the SAF in exchange for letting them build a Red Sea naval base at Port Sudan. Also, Qatar and Turkey have their diplomatic and humanitarian engagements tilted towards the SAF. The bottom line here is that neither camp is purely local. The war is shaped mainly by outside rivals and their money, not just by the events on the ground. The Gold War. How Sudan's wealth fuels the guns. Sudan is one of the top 5 gold producing countries in Africa, and almost all of it is either smuggled out or exported. In fact, it was reported in 2024 that about 50% of all merchandise export from Sudan was just gold. UAE is the largest official buyers of gold from Sudan, but experts say that most gold by volume and by value is smuggled out of the country. It is mined in Darfur, moved through Chad, Libya, South Sudan, and then laundered into the global markets. RSF gets most of its war finances from gold extraction and smuggling, while SAF relies on state-controlled gold mines and official exports to keep the government running. So, as long as this gold money stays hidden, both parties will keep receiving fundings for arms and ammunitions. So peace or ceasefire can only be achieved if these gold transactions are open and transparent. Atrocities, ethnic cleansing, and hunger. Darfur is currently in its darkest chapter. Credible investigations have reported that RSF has carried out ethnic-based massacres against Masalit and other non-Arab communities, especially in the western and northern Darfur regions. Killings, mass rape, burning of entire neighborhoods, ethnic cleansing, and mass genocide. What the RSF is doing is not alleged, it is systematic, targeted slaughter. These are crimes against humanity, and we must strongly condemn their actions. So, is the SAF the good guy here? The SAF has been accused of carrying out indiscriminate air and artillery strikes in densely populated towns and cities to hit RSF positions, causing heavy civilian casualties. It has also been reported that SAF has blocked and seized humanitarian aids in an attempt to use food and other basic amenities as leverage to starve the RSF-held areas, which has contributed to widespread hunger across the country. There is no moral grey area on either side here. The greed of two ruthless men has cost well over 150,000 lives and displaced more than 12 million people in Sudan. This is one of the world's largest displacement crises in recent history. Millions are on the move inside Sudan and into Chad, Egypt, South Sudan and Ethiopia. Aid convoys are seized. Journalist visas are blocked. And this war has turned hunger into a weapon. Schools and hospitals have either been destroyed or militarized. The entire country is facing famine. What should the world demand? 1. Immediate ceasefire with monitoring, not just paper declarations. 2. Civilians first. Safe corridors, protected hospitals, and open crossings for the citizens. Also, visas for aid workers. 3. Accountability. We must push the United Nations and the International Criminal Court to investigate all parties for war crimes and ethnic cleansing. 4. Cut the money. There must be transparent gold and weapon transactions, and dirty logistic brokerage must be stopped. 5. Saying no to radical Islamist rule or any other authoritarian ideology. What Sudan needs is strong institutions, one national army under civilian control, and an inclusive constitution. Not militias, not extremism, and not war profiteering. We don't cheer for uniforms here, we stand with the civilians. We condemn all atrocities, RSF, SAF, or any other militias. No cause, no ideology can justify targeted killings, sexual violence, and forced starvation. Using starvation as a war tactic is an unforgivable crime. This must end now. If you found the video informative, like, share and subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comment section what you would like to see next. Thank you for watching.